There's a dangerous assumption I see over and over in crypto, especially among newer investors. It goes like this. Well, if it's listed on Binance or Coinbase or Kraken, then it must be safe, right? And I get it. We're trained to think that listings are like an approval badge, like someone behind the scenes did the due diligence for us, checked the code, reviewed the team, and gave it the green light. But here's the truth. Just because the coin is listed on an exchange doesn't mean it's safe. It doesn't mean it's legitimate, and it definitely doesn't mean it's a good investment. In fact, in many cases, it's the opposite. Let's talk about how listings actually work. Most centralized exchanges operate like businesses, which means they're driven by profit, and listing a new coin is a great way to attract volume, generate trading fees, and create a buzz. So, how does a token get listed? In many cases, teams pay for it. Projects pay to get their token on major platforms, sometimes directly, sometimes through market-making deals, sometimes through token allocations in exchange for access. The more demand the exchange anticipates, the more favorable the listing terms for the exchange. And in some cases, there's no due diligence beyond making sure the token contract works and the order books can be supported. That's it. The exchange isn't auditing the token's fundamentals. They're not verifying the legitimacy of the team. They're not evaluating the long-term viability of the project. They're launching a product to drive volume. It's a business move, not a seal of approval, and we've seen this play out over and over again. Let's go back to FTX. At the peak of its influence, FTX listed dozens of tokens that ended up collapsing, either due to poor fundamentals, bad tokenomics, or outright manipulation. But people trusted those tokens simply because they were listed. And when FTX imploded, a lot of those tokens were caught in the fallout. Even on Binance, which is the largest exchange in the world, we've seen tokens like Terra Luna go from highly traded to completely wiped out. At its peak, Terra was everywhere. Binance, KuCoin, Kraken, you name it. That didn't stop it from collapsing to zero and taking billions of dollars with it. Coinbase too has listed projects that ended up crashing hard, including low volume altcoins with questionable long-term roadmaps. These listings were often driven by pressure to stay competitive, not because the coins passed some magical legitimacy test. So what does a listing actually tell you? One thing, liquidity. When a coin gets listed on a major exchange, it usually becomes easier to trade. There's more volume, more buyers and sellers, and fewer barriers to entry. But that's it. A listing is a convenience, not a vote of confidence. And even the liquidity that comes from listings can disappear fast. When interest dries up, when the team stops building, when market makers pull out, volume vanishes, and your ability to exit a position goes with it. So here's what I suggest you do instead of using listings as a shortcut. First, you gotta do your own research before a listing happens. If you see a token being hyped pre-listing, dig into the fundamentals. Who's the team? What's the use case? How is the token distributed? What is the unlock schedule? Second, understand that exchanges often list coins for hype cycles, not for utility. When markets are hot, exchanges list aggressively. When markets cool off, they quietly delist low performers, and there's rarely very much warning. Third, if a token is already listed, don't let that be your justification for buying it. Let it be your starting point for deeper analysis. Ask yourself, is this project still actively developed? Does it have a growing user base or developer ecosystem? Are the tokenomics sustainable? Or is inflation eating away at value? Is the exchange just offering it because everyone else is? And finally, you gotta recognize the game for what it is. Projects want to get listed because it creates exposure. Exchanges want to list projects because it creates fees. But you're the one holding the bag if things go wrong. So don't confuse availability with credibility. They are not the same. Let me know in the comments, have you ever bought a coin just because it was listed somewhere big? And how did that turn out for you? Now, if you want to learn how to evaluate projects without relying on exchanges to do the work for you, check out learningcrypto.com. We teach you how to research, analyze, and protect your capital on your terms. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.